Contributors Stacey Whitletts, Jan Rogers-Kniffen, and BuzzFeed's Sapna Maheshwari. We're going to get back to them in just a second. But first, the lovely and talented Courtney Reagan is going to get us up to speed on the two companies fighting today. Court.
It's the contest between two high-end heavyweights. In the ring, accessory champion Coach takes on fashion-forward Michael Kors. While the Coach brand is a luxury legend 4 decades older than Michael Kors, the rookie is giving the veteran a run for its money. Sizing up the competition, while Michael Kors is rapidly expanding, its current footprint of 477 stores is only half Coach's 990. But despite having a store fleet half the size of Coach, Michael Kors' comparable sales grew 23% in its most recent quarter, while Coach's comps sank nearly 7%. Last holiday quarter, Michael Kors delivered an unbelievable 306% increase in net income, while Coach's 2012 holiday season yielded a net income gain of a meager 1.5%. It may seem like a knockout, but many question the sustainability of Kors' extreme growth. There's a reason why Coach is still a high-end mainstay.
So, who is going to win this, Chris? Michael Kors or Coach? Hi. Let's get straight to our panel. We started with you last time, Stacey. So, Sapna, I'm going to start with you. What do you think?
Sure. So, I'm going with Michael Kors on this. I think that Michael Kors has an amazing brand, and as far as social buzz, they have more Twitter followers than Coach. They have more Facebook followers. Michael Kors is super popular after Project Runway. And Goldman had an interesting analysis earlier this year using Google regional search trends, which showed that Michael Kors is actually searched a lot more in the trend-setting markets, whereas late adopters such as Wisconsin and states like that were searching Coach more. So I'm going to say Michael Kors is cooler and is going to win this round.
The cool factor wins.
And slamming Wisconsin in the process there. Backwards Hicks. I have a house there. I'm sensitive. Stacey Whitletts, your pick.
I'm going with the underdog. I'm going with Coach.
Since when is Coach an underdog?
Well, it has been recently.
Yeah, recently. For 10 years.
Michael Kors can't keep the stuff on the shelves. Coach has been having a problem, right?
Coach has been undercomping Michael Kors by 30% in the last quarter. But here's the good news. The expectations are low. They've gotten rid of their designer, who, by the way, was building his own label at the same time and was completely distracted. They brought in a new designer from Loewe from Spain, who's terrific and has a great background. And I think they're the comeback kid for 2014.
So it looks like the deciding vote is going to be to Jan Kniffen in the middle.
Chief Justice Kniffen.
And I hate to agree with Stacey, but I'm going to agree with Stacey. I'm going with Coach as well. If we're just talking about through the end of the year, through holiday, I'd have to go with Michael Kors because their sales are going to be a lot better. However, if you're looking at 2014, I believe we're going to see multiple contraction in Michael Kors because I think they're slowing. I agree with everything that we just heard here about all the good things about Michael Kors. I don't think that changes the fact that their growth rate is slowing a little. And when that happens, they'll contract on their multiple, and Coach, which is already down in the dumps and is already trading like a plain old also-ran retail, will start to see its business get a little better. The new management will work, and we'll start to see some growth again because the product's getting better, and sometime in 2014, they'll start delivering new product. And, yeah, they're not as cool as they used to be, but then again, they're trading like they're not very cool either.
So, Courtney, a lady who studies fashion, handbags and shoes for a living.
Kind of funny. I was sort of undecided coming into this, and I wanted to hear everybody's opinion. Earlier this morning, I thought definitely Coach. Then I thought definitely Kors. I'm actually kind of worried about Kors' cool factor. I feel like that could fade quickly, but there's something to be said about Coach. It's been around for a long time. I love their men's products, the nice leatherware that's not so labeled with the big C's. I really like
man bags, French bags.
They have man bags?
You can maybe have a
very popular overseas, international.
I got a place to keep my compact?
Yes, you do.
It's not
We're a lot of makeup.
It's it's the wallet, it's the across the body bags. But I think the other thing about Coach is you just said expectations are incredibly low. They've also been very slow off in Europe, but now they're getting in more wholesale doors. They're going to become more of an international brand, whereas Kors has already gone out there internationally and been
You're awfully confident they're going to turn it around, though, Stacey. I mean, they could just muddle along forever like so many. There's a lot of companies that actually never recover. They don't get any worse. They just don't do anything
But the product is changing. The product is different. It's less logo. It's more leather. It's more higher end.
And they're also trading like they're going to metal along forever.
Well, that's it. I was just going to say, let's bring up that, and I apologize to those listening on the radio, but if we bring up the chart once again, you can clearly see that a lot of the good news has been built into Michael Kors' stock. Wouldn't you say, Sapna? And Coach there has been really, yikes, underperforming and just muddling along.
But just because it's doing well doesn't mean that it's necessarily bound for a fall. I mean, I think the fact that Kors has limited their merchandise that's logo-centric to 30% has really worked for them. And how does Coach come back from being such an outlet brand?
Sure. And what about all what the cool kids are saying? I know we talked about the cool factor a little bit. A lot of the surveys, it seems like do like Kors, right? That's an item.
Yeah, but I thought the cool kids are all unemployed, living in their mother's basement. They don't have any money to spend anyway.
I mean,
so why do we care what they think?
Am I missing something about what the teens, the millennials, that those folks want?
I mean, I do think there's still that mixing and matching of accessories. Sure, kids are shopping, teens and people in their 20s are shopping at H&M and so on, but they'll pay for the $150 handbag, $200 handbag, and yeah,
absolutely. They will. And to your point about outlet stores, you go to an outlet store somewhere like Woodbury Common, there is a line outside the Coach store. They actually have to stagger people in.
They sell different stuff. The stuff that's in most of these outlet stores is never available in the actual store. No, it's special. A lot of the stuff is different. It's made cheaper. It's made cheaper. It's made for the
factory.
So the winner is?
There's barely any overlap.
Coach.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Surprise.
You're keeping a track of all this, right, Reagan?
Of course I'm keeping track of all of it.
Because otherwise we'd just be mildly perturbed competitors.
Don't worry. I'm keeping track.
Greenberg to write down your memo.
Stacey, Sapna, thank you very much. Jan,